Welcome back, everybody, to more Final Fantasy VI. It has been a while. I am Drak, and finally, I am out of my bed. So I've already gotten a couple of questions on the matter, and we'll probably take today and kind of explain that, since we're going to be continuing on in Narshe and getting all of the things that we need to get here. Mainly a couple of party members and some espers. So with that, what happened? I know that a lot of people don't watch every single one of my videos. Like, there are certain series that they don't necessarily get into, so I'm just kind of making a general explanation for everybody. But what happened was, it is flu season, and so unfortunately I contracted a bit of a virus. And at first we thought it was just going to be a regular head cold, that wasn't going to be a big deal. Then I did the podcast, and it became a big deal, because then at that point I not only had your regular head cold congestion, but I had congestion in my chest, my throat. Basically, junk was coming out of me quite a bit. And so, basically, at the request of my doctor, I took first it was going to be a couple of days, and then as soon as we realized the other problems, we basically made the rest of the week off, and now I'm coming back, and unfortunately things are running a little bit late, but I still am planning on getting my full week schedule out to you guys. So that is going to happen. But I am doing a lot better, so thank you all for the well wishes, for those who did know, and thank you all so much for caring about my channel. And I know a lot of people were just like, I want my videos, but you know what? I get that. I've been waiting for you. I wanted to give you this. And for this, this is actually a really important Esper. I ran a weapon shop for 70 years. The stone gives off an eerie aura. If I melted it and forged a sword, it'd be powerful. But it looks like magicite, so do we really want to do that? Well, make this stone into a sword? So you could choose to either have the stone Ragnarok or make the sword Ragnarok. If you leave it as a stone, right. You get the Esper Ragnarok, which actually teaches you the most powerful black magic spell in the game, Ultima. So, obviously we want to learn Ultima. Ragnarok as a sword is awesome, but we don't necessarily need it. Ragnarok as an Esper is a lot more powerful, and a lot more needed as far as I'm concerned. So, with that, yeah, so thank you all for the well wishes, thank you all for caring, and we're going to be back to a regular schedule as best as I can. I'm still kind of holding myself a little bit back, just in case I need a lighter schedule to recover, because you guys can still kind of hear it in my voice. But I have been able to adhere to my schedule so far. I've just been like a day or two late on them. And starting next week, that's not going to be a major issue. So that being said, thank you once again, and let's go ahead and get into some business for the channel, because there's quite a bit to go over. So for those who are just watching the Final Fantasy videos, here's basically what you missed in this week's upload schedule that was supposed to happen last week, but didn't. Unfortunately, my top 10s kind of got halted because I was actually in the middle of doing my last bits of voiceover for them. So I still need to get those done, but as soon as they are, then you guys will get those videos. The next thing up is the stuff that actually came up on this channel. I think a lot of people would be interested in. We have Drak tries for Power Rangers Mega Battle. That actually came up first. We also have upcoming a Drak tries of Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, so you guys can look into that. And for all the people who know how Drak tries works, I'm actually going to go ahead and state this here. There actually might be a few tries this year that don't necessarily get the full review treatment, and Kingdom Hearts is going to be the first one that gets that. But Drak, why are you doing that? The only thing I'm willing to tell you is that I have some other plans for Kingdom Hearts on the channel. So that's why I'm not doing a review of Kingdom Hearts 2.8. But there will also be some other games this year that might not necessarily get the full review treatment. I'll do a Drak tries and let you guys kind of make the opinion for yourself, and leave it at that. So you've got Kingdom Hearts 2.8. You're also going to be getting a review or a Drak tries, I believe on the weekend is where I have it set, for Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. So I've gotten a couple of listener requests for that, and we are going to go ahead and do it. So that'll probably be on over the weekend. The next bits of Drak tries are actually going to be next week, and they are going to be for Double Dragon 4, because I'm still a little excited about that, even though some of the reviews are actually out and it's not promising. And then also a listener brought an indie game to my attention called Candleman, and asked if I would do a Drak tries on it at the very least. So I will be doing a Drak tries for Candleman. On top of that, the other things that I have going on this week is I'm finally starting up my celebration of Diablo. Celebrating 20 years of Diablo with the Darkening of Tristram event, basically in place of Diablo 1. That's going to be coming up right after this video. You guys can look forward to that. Then I also have a vlog coming out later that is going to be for the first 2 episodes of Voltron Season 2. Because that was supposed to happen last week, and again, I was sick, so I couldn't really do it. And that's pretty much like covering all of this week, so you guys have plenty of stuff to look into. And again, I apologize for being a week behind, but that's kind of how things happen. The other thing I also want to update people is for listeners of the podcast that do also follow the Final Fantasy episodes. Some big news today. So this last weekend, you guys might have noticed that Alex actually took charge of Geek News, and thank you so much, Alex the Shadowblazer, for taking charge on that. But this week, Geek News is going to be at a whole new day and a whole new time. So we're actually going to be moving things up to Friday nights at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So if you guys want to be part of the live stream, contribute stories and all that stuff, from here on in, we are going to be Friday nights at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So you guys can join us for the live chat. I have a feeling we'll also be able to get a little bit more of an audience there, not just from devoted listeners, but also from people who are just checking out the podcast for the first time. So that is going to be happening. So as of like when I'm recording this, which is literally on the day it's supposed to be going up, it's going to be tomorrow night at 8 p.m. The other thing that I also want to update people on is I've been getting major questions on when the next Why We Geek episode is going to go up. I haven't exactly set it in the schedule, but I believe I put up episode 1 like mid-January, so we'll probably do mid-February when that goes up. And people have already been wanting me to spoil it. I've spoiled it a couple of times here, but I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys can go check out the other videos that have spoiled it, which is a Geek News episode and I think one other. Until then, you're gonna have to go wait on the actual Why We Geek episode 2. It actually is going to be a carryover from the Disney episode. Not talking about Disney, but it's going to have the same panel. So it's going to be myself, my wife Andrea, and also my cousin Lizzie, who is also a bit of an authority on the next subject. In fact, she's kind of gone out of her way to get some well-needed experience for this subject. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then you guys can expect the next month we'll have new panels. And it's just going to be new panels every time. Sometimes they'll be familiar, sometimes they won't be. But I'm really hoping to also bring in some brand new YouTubers to be able to talk about certain subjects. That'll be exciting. That's what Why We Geek is for. Now we're almost to Mog. Yeah, this is going to be the area that leads into Mog's lair, and Mog we can actually get back right now. So you could technically get him earlier, but I like to be prepared for this area because there's so much to get in Narshe that you might as well just get it all in one fell swoop. So that's what we're doing. We're getting Mog. He's also going to get us another party member, and then we're also getting a couple of Espers, like you just saw with Ragnarok. But we're also going to be getting 2 others that will help with getting spells. I'm trying to think if there's any other major news that people wanted me to talk about. Oh, yes. A listener just barely reached out to me yesterday and asked me if I would give my thoughts, since it's Final Fantasy related. In case people didn't know, a couple of days ago, Final Fantasy VII's 20th anniversary was celebrated, along with Final Fantasy's 30th anniversary. So Final Fantasy as a series has been around for 30 years, and Tetsuya Nomura decided to do a nice little dedication to Final Fantasy VII by putting up a poster of Kingdom Hearts in the exact same pose as the Final Fantasy VII cover. And I have since seen this image. It is great. I thought that was a nice little homage from Tetsuya Nomura to, well, himself. Yeah, it was really good. I really did like it. I thought it was done in good taste, so I'm very happy that he did that. It's amazing.
Koopa-poo, you're alive! I thought you were all feeding the worms, Koopa! Koopa-hoo-hoo, let's go!
Kind of surprised with my voice that I could actually pull that off. I've not had much luck with my voice the last few days.
Say, we could use some Yeti muscle. Besides, he'd be helpless here without me.
Yeti muscle, huh?
He's somewhere in the mines. Once we find him, I'll order him to join us, Koopa!
There we go. So, Mog will then order her buddy here to now work for us, and I believe we have to have Mog. Yeah, we have to have Mog in the party to be able to utilize him. But first, we're gonna warp out and prep up Mog so that he's learning magic while we're making our way to the next party member. And of course, we get attacked right off the bat. Could that be my luck? So yeah, I saw the celebration, and I also saw that it is confirmed that July 11th is the release date for Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age. People have already asked, are you going to get to 12 by then? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, if this game is at 43 parts as of this one, probably not. Because, I mean, from here, the games only get longer. So that doesn't really work out. Because I can already tell you 7's going to be longer, 8's going to be longer. At least I think as far as parts. 9's going to be longer, 10 is. But we will, I've made a promise to you guys. We will do 12, and in this particular format, we will do the Zodiac Age. So you guys don't need to worry about that. We are gonna be tackling it in its due course. Just as much as people are also worried that yes, I am gonna be taking on 13, and yes, 15 eventually. 14 will find its own way onto the channel. Same thing with 11, but 15 will be getting a spotlight here for the legacy of Final Fantasy. So I'm very excited about that. And here is Mog. Basically, I'm just moving some things around so that we can get some added benefits and also get some relics and good items on Mog. I'm trying to think. What's another thing that I need to take care of for as far as news goes? Because I've been gone for like a week and a half. I want to make sure I cover everything you guys wanted me to talk about. People have already been asking about Mass Effect. Specifically, am I going to be covering Mass Effect Andromeda? This is the promise that I've made, and I don't know how well I'm going to be able to keep it. But that being said, here we go. Am I going to be doing a review of Mass Effect Andromeda? No. I'm setting a personal requirement before I do it, and that is that I'm going to make my way through Mass Effect 3 before I do that. I know that they're not connected. People, I've heard you, but it's something that, like, my personal OCD compels me to be able to know the story of 3 before I go into Andromeda. Just in case there's any little hints here and there towards 3 that I'm not going to get. So what I've basically set myself up to do is I'm going to try and run through the rest of 3 as quick as I can while giving my thoughts here to you guys. And then if I can get there by the release date, I will be doing a review for Mass Effect Andromeda. If I'm not, depending on how late I am, I might just do a Drak Tries. I know people want a full-on review, but I really don't want to get a review to you guys months late, if I don't have to. But Drak, you do that all the time. I try very hard not to. And so much so that I'm actually cutting down on this year's schedule so that I can get you guys the reviews in a timely fashion. But if it's too late by the time I finish Mass Effect 3, then maybe I'll just do a Drak Tries. You guys get to see my first-hand impressions of Andromeda as I'm playing it. But that's going to be... Because here's the thing, it's also coming out in March. And in case you guys didn't realize, I'm also going to have another major review starting in March for the Nintendo Switch and Breath of the Wild. Thankfully, Andromeda is like the 21st of March. So I might still have some time but I'm going to get through 3 first. I hope you guys understand. But that's the plan for Mass Effect. And then as far as reviews go, wow, my review schedule has since filled up pretty big, but we'll get to as much of it as we can. Even if it means we just have to vlog review everything up until that point. I would like to be able to at least do Horizon Zero Dawn as a full-on review, but just depends on how busy things get. That's because I also do like the vlog format, and the vlog format makes things a little bit easier to be able to do that. People have also been asking about Guardians of the Galaxy by Telltale. Am I going to be covering that? Yep. It's on my list. I just don't think we have a release date for it yet. So that's going to be happening. And of course, I also did see the Square Enix Marvel announcement with hashtag reassemble. Am I excited for it? Not really. We don't have enough information for me to be able to be excited or not. I have a feeling it's going to be something along the lines of Marvel, like the return of Marvel Ultimate Alliance, like a Marvel-based RPG. I don't peg me for that though, guys, because I mean, my first guess when they went to Square Enix is like they want an RPG. That may not necessarily be the case because, yeah, sure, Square Enix is known for RPGs, but right now they're more known for action RPGs and action adventure games, with Tomb Raider and Hitman and Just Cause and a bunch of those other series. It's more like Tokyo RPG Factory is known for their RPG, known as their RPG arm. Because even then, like, 15 is out, but until Kingdom Hearts 3 is done, I don't know if we're going to get a Final Fantasy 16. I don't know if it's likely. I've not seen an interview where Tetsuya said that was the last one, but it would not surprise me. 15 is kind of a good number to end the series on. And I hope not, but it could actually happen. That's a thing. And let's see, any other review stuff that people wanted me to cover? Oh, the big one was Mass Effect 3, or Mass Effect that people wanted to know if I was going to cover it. So hopefully that answers you guys' questions on the matter. I also plan on resuming my active schedule. Like, I'm going to try and get the remaining active schedule stuff out for this week, but then next week we resume everything. So that means Tale of Drakfu, Dungeons and Drakfus, doing the vlog for Voltron Season 2. That's going to be a thing. Final Fantasy 6, we're gonna try very hard in the next few weeks to get it finished so that we can then move on to Final Fantasy 7, because I actually didn't realize it was the 20th anniversary. That'd be really awesome to be able to cover it this year, to go into Final Fantasy 7 celebrating 20 years of it. Oh, that was the other thing. People were asking if I was going to cover the 7 remake. Yes, I've said numerous times I'm going to cover it. That's going to be happening, so you guys don't have to worry about that. Oh, the other one, too, was, like, people wanted to know my thoughts on the Power Rangers DLC for 15. Great. I thought it was silly. I actually believed, like, I literally looked at my date, or at my calendar, just like, is it April 1st? I think we're still in February, right? Or, no, it was in January. Are we still? It could be April. I could have slept for that long. I was that sick. But yeah, no, there's a Power Rangers DLC for Final Fantasy 15 in honor of the new movie. I might get it. I might. It looks silly enough. I might get it. The other thing too that people asked was how did I feel about the? I guess there's an upcoming Kingdom Hearts DLC for World of Final Fantasy to get Sora as a summon. Yeah, I'm interested. If I can get my hands on a code. Actually, I think it was with 2.8. So maybe I'll go swipe the code from my wife. It's her copy, but I don't know if she's gonna play World of Final Fantasy anytime soon. So I can just keep that for myself. I'm also happy to say, like, some people have been I've already probably sparked the curiosity of a lot of people. So you say you have Kingdom Hearts plans? Yes, I do. I think it's appropriate that we're getting really close to Kingdom Hearts 3. I have a feeling we're going to get some major announcements for it, so we're going to be doing some things on the channel regarding Kingdom Hearts. So Kingdom Hearts fans, rejoice, you are getting your day in the sun. Because as much as I've said that I'm not the biggest fan of Kingdom Hearts, I am a fan. And I'm hoping that 3 will fix a lot of the issues that I have with the series, but nonetheless, I am a fan, and we are going to cover it at some point. So you guys can look forward to that very soon. And also, just because I'm plugging this wherever I go, if you guys are seeing this video as of today, later tonight, I'm actually going to be doing a live stream interview with Vixen Anime and Manga. So you guys can go into the... it's going to be a live stream interview, so you guys can go into the chat and ask questions, and I would be more than happy to take you guys' questions, as well as any newcomers to either Vixen's or my channel. So you guys can feel free to come on down and ask questions to your heart's desire. I hope I can answer them to the best of my ability. And hopefully not sounding like that guy at Burger King that is not going to give you the secret sauce recipe even though you want it. Because that's kind of how I sound. Well, I haven't really talked a lot of Final Fantasy this time around. It really is just because we're covering all of the details in Narshe. So we've gotten Mog, we got the Ragnarok Esper, and we're actually coming up on the next Esper that we can get. And in fact, this is one that people have been asking if I'm actually going to go get. And yes, I am. Mainly because we've seen him for quite a while, and before that, we have yet another one of those pesky little dragons to take care of. I think this is the blue dragon. No, it's the ice dragon. My bad. I completely got that wrong. My apologies, everybody. That's going to be a thing. Oh, and I guess I should probably also address this. So people have been asking where the updates are for Geek News on the RSS feed. They are coming. Again, I've been sick for like the last week and a half, so I haven't been able to do a whole lot of editing or recording, but I'm basically doing a massive amount of catch-up right now to get out the first couple of weeks worth of episodes, and yeah, we're going to keep the RSS feed as up-to-date as we can. The only sad part is that I know that my memory space on that account is limited, so you may not necessarily get every episode, but we're going to keep that as up-to-date as we can. Maybe what will happen is you'll get the most recent one, and then the oldest one will leave the RSS feed. But you'll still have the YouTube episode that covers all of the stuff that we talked about. Oh, excuse me. I promise, I'm not trying to cough in you guys' ears, but that's kind of where I'm at today. But thankfully, I've been able to get a whole lot done, so I'm happy about that. And my voice has not been that bad. Has not been that retaliatory against me. I also have a bunch of other Gaming with Geek stuff happening in the next little bit, too, so you guys can look forward to that. I'm hoping to get recording with Aldo so we can continue on in Resident Evil, but my buddy Brinton and I actually worked out some time to record some new Gaming with the Geeks material, so you guys can look forward to that as well in the coming weeks. Especially since, even though he thought he wasn't going to be too busy, well, now he's got some other things to worry about, so we'll try and get him in whenever we can. There we go. So let's just do a quick save, and then we're going to go and take care of the last bit of Narshe. Unfortunately, though, we are running out of time this week, so we might actually need to tackle that next week. The remaining part of Narshe, and then move on into the next little bit of Endgame. We are really close to the end of Final Fantasy VI, people. We've only got a couple more errands to take care of, and then we can go and take on Kefka, which I know a lot of people have been waiting on. We will get to it. I promise you guys. It's going to happen. And then we'll get to Final Fantasy VII, and I'm actually excited because we're going to be celebrating the 20th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII while playing it. Okay, let's go ahead and get to the next screen. I'm going to try and cover as much territory as I can before I need to call it a night, or call it a day. At least for this part on Final Fantasy. So you guys can expect the active schedule to return next week. Things will be up on time, or at least as close to on time as I can get them. And you guys can expect so much more from the channel. I still have so much more to be able to showcase. this is going to be a good year for the channel, I think. And I think you guys are going to enjoy the content that I have coming for it. But with that battle, that's actually going to go ahead and do it for this week. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. Again, thank you all for the well wishes and all of the awesome stuff that you guys do for me, as well as for the channel. And of course, I will see you guys next week as we finish up the last little bit of Narshe.